Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to another Instagram Live. Tonight won't be our regular mixology masterclass. However, we will be hosting Spirit Free Happy Hour. We are mixing up a cocktail tonight, but we will be doing so with our friend Dr. Owen Wiseman from the A. Vogel team. So let's see if he is here right now so we can get him on the line. Hello. Seeing friendly faces. Hello, Owen. How
Hey,
are you?
Deandra. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Let me just adjust my camera here.
You've got the whole
So,
setup going. This is pretty nice.
yes, definitely. So nice. It's so nice to do this and enjoy a cocktail together tonight. I'll have to kind of show what I'm working on tonight, but how about we
Well, that's
start
the
with some.
part.
Yeah.
Like,
How
there's a
about we
social etiquette about coming on live, and you can't drink, but I can tell you right now that
I love it. Is that the cocktail we're mixing up tonight too?
I didn't have all of the ingredients, but I did my best with what I had.
Amazing, amazing. That's all we can ask for. And that's all we can ask for everyone joining us tonight. So why don't we start with some introductions?
Yeah, so Deandra introduced me a little bit. I'm Dr. Owen Wiseman. I am the medical advisor to A. Vogel, and I'm really excited to be partnering because I think this is just such an important topic that we don't talk about often enough is spirit-free options. So I have a practice here in Ontario, and I also see Canadians and help Canadians transform their health across the country. But in terms of A. Vogel, who are they? You're probably a little bit familiar with them now. They've been around for almost 100 years and helping, again, everyone around the world really transform their health. And that's what it's about. This whole conversation is about health at its heart, which you might think is weird for an alcohol conversation, but it's there.
Absolutely. That's crazy. I didn't know they've been around for 100 years. Wow.
1923.
Wow, that's incredible. Honestly, that it's so important. You're absolutely right. And especially here at Sobri, we are all about having those inclusive non-alcoholic options, right? So that if you do want to enjoy a cocktail, there's nothing wrong with that. And you can still participate in that social aspect, but really just forget about the negative effects of alcohol.
Yeah, of which there are many, as we know.
Exactly. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about them because sometimes, we talk a lot about the different cocktail options that we can create with the Sobri products. However, sometimes we really don't dive deep into the negative consequences of actually choosing that alcoholic beverage over the non-alcoholic version.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be fun. It helps loosen up your inhibitions a bit and makes you maybe more social. But the consequences of kind of dealing with all of that after, that's the part that's not so fun. It disrupts your sleep, it impacts your mental health. It is a depressant, which I think a lot of us forget. So when you're sitting there at 2 a.m. thinking, should I text my ex? No, probably not the best thing to do, but maybe that'll help. I don't know.
Exactly. And Valentine's Day is around the corner, so I feel like a lot of people
Give me a
can
lot of
relate.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just gonna describe the ingredients that we're gonna use tonight, just in case anyone here who is following along, you can get ready to get started. But tonight we are actually creating an immune boosting cocktail. So who would have ever thought that immune boosting and cocktail would go in the same sentence? But that's what we're doing here tonight because we are actually going to be including one of A. Vogel's products, if you can see that without this light.
We'll link it below.
We'll link it below, right. But it's called Akina Force. So maybe if you want to describe that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the hot drink. So Echinoforce is kind of the flagship cold and flu immune supporting product of A. Vogel. And it's one of the global bestsellers. People really, really like it. And so the hot drink, I am a little biased towards. It's actually my favorite out of the entire line of products. And the reason being, A, there's really good research behind it. But as you'll see if you're following along and making the mocktail, it just also tastes really darn good. So
Yeah.
it's Echinacea, purpurea, and elderberry, which is all grown over in Switzerland. It's all organic. It's non-GMO. So it's a really, really high quality product as well.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to include it. And I'll be honest, I created this cocktail earlier today just to try it out, and it was delicious. So
Oh.
I'm really excited to have another one.
Well, especially with, I find even what I'm drinking right now with that hot flavor of the gin and that bite, because I think that's
Yes.
what a lot of people are surprised with the non-alcoholic options is, can you still have something that has that bite of alcohol? And that's what really impressed me with Sobri is Sobri is that you get it. You get that bite.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up because tonight, so we're going to be using our very first product, which is the Sobri Zero Gin. And so Sobri Zero Gin is actually a distilled non-alcoholic spirit. So what that means is that it's actually distilled in the same way that you would create a traditional gin. So it goes through that distillation process. And the reason we do that is because we use all natural botanicals that you would find in gin, including your juniper. And to get that bite, we've included ginseng to get that little bit of bite because later on in the process, we're actually removing the alcohol.
And I think
So,
that's what impressed me the most was that it
yeah,
was so juniper forward. I love a really good juniper forward gin. And so to have that bite again, but without the alcohol, just really blew me away.
absolutely. I love it too. I really, really love our zero gin, and I agree. I love the bite, and you're absolutely right. So the thing with Sobri is we really pride ourselves on having that really strong flavor profile so that it doesn't just taste like a little bit of flavored water when you're creating that cocktail. We want those strong flavors. So we really don't like the term flavored water when it comes to non-alcoholic spirits because it's so much more.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right. And also, so tonight, so aside from the hot drink, we're actually going to be making it cold tonight. Aside from the hot drink and Sobri Zero Gin, we will also need sparkling water or club soda. I just have club soda with me tonight. And pomegranate seeds. So you'll need a
Mm,
quarter cup of pomegranate seeds, which is also 2 ounces, and a little bit of rosemary for garnish.
beautiful.
Right? So I say maybe we just dive right in, get started.
Yeah, yeah, I think it sounds good. It'll get you to the drink quicker.
Exactly. Amazing, amazing. So tonight's cocktail, we are going to be using a Collins glass, which is a tall, thin glass that looks like this. And to start the cocktail, we're actually going to be using those pomegranate seeds as our base. So hopefully you guys have those handy. If not, if you're watching the replay, feel free to do what you need to do, grab all the ingredients and then start. So we're going to be putting that quarter cup or 2 ounces at the bottom of our glass. So I'll just do that here so you guys can see. I'll get those last few seeds with my spoon.
Making me regret not having the pomegranate seed.
It's really good. It is. You'll have to go back and try it.
Round two.
Yes, yes. This cocktail, it's a lot of effort, especially if you're peeling your pomegranate seeds out of the pomegranate, but it's worth it, I promise. All right, so next you're going to need your muddler, and you're actually going to muddle. It's going to be hard for me to do it while it's in my hand here, but you're going to muddle the pomegranate seeds into the bottom of your glass.
And Deandra, that's just to release more flavor, right?
Absolutely. Because if the seeds are just floating in your drink, you're not really getting that pomegranate juice. So muddling it is definitely going to release that flavor into the cocktail. And don't be shy with your muddling. Like, get that juice out of the seeds. Ooh, it's going to be delicious.
Nothing like pomegranate juice. And I find it pairs so nicely with the elderberry syrup that you're tasting.
Yes, I thought so too. It really, really does. All right, so I think I got a good base here. So you can see that pomegranate juice in there. And the next thing we're going to do is add ice. So we're going to add some regular cubes of ice into our glass. So I know we're supposed to be making a hot drink with the Echinoforce, but it's okay. We can have it cold too.
The name is pretty deceiving because there's so many, as you're finding out, different ways to drink it.
Exactly, exactly. I guess that's just the recommended way.
Exactly.
We can get creative.
Even with the young people in my life, you'll do a popsicle mold. So you make the hot drink ahead of time and you just pour it into a popsicle mold, freeze it overnight, and they don't know that it's good for them, which is always the best way to get kids to do healthy things.
Yes. Oh, I love that idea. Oh, there's nothing like a refreshing popsicle.
Oh yeah. Excited for summer and the warmer weather around the corner.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Me too. Me too. All right. So I've got ice in my glass now. And the next thing we're going to need is our Sobri Zero Gin. So if you got one of these at home, this is called a jigger. So it's your handy measuring tool for your cocktail. And so the top bowl, you'll notice, is a bit larger than your bottom bowl. And so the top bowl full is 2 ounces and the bottom bowl is 1 ounce. So for this cocktail, we are going to need 2 ounces of Sobri Zero Gin. So we're going to fill up this top bowl.
See, I hear a double and immediately I'm thinking, if that was real gin, I'd be feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
not so much the next day.
Exactly. But here we're just getting that extra punch of flavor. And we're not worrying about that hangover.
No hangover.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so now here is where we're going to add the Echinoforce. So for this, we're actually going to use 3/4 of an ounce. So like I said, with your jigger, you're going to be using that bottom bowl now. And most of them, so this is the Sobri rose gold jigger. We actually have this on our website. And so in the inside of the bowl, there's different lines to show you where you're going to find your 3/4 of an ounce, 1/2 ounce, and 1/4 ounce. So I can see right away.
For me to know.
Yeah. So we're going to pour that. Oh, it just looks so lovely. The color is so nice too.
It's so vibrant and rich.
Yeah, I love it. And it's all natural colors, right?
Yeah, so the dark color actually comes from what's called the anthocyanins, which are found in the elderberry, and they're that really deep, dark, rich color.
Oh, very interesting to know. Oh, I love that. Love it. Look at that cocktail. Looking delicious. All right, and we're almost done. We're almost done. It does take some prep with your pomegranate seeds, but once you've got that down, it's a really easy cocktail.
And it's all worth it. All worth it.
It is. Absolutely. Now, Owen and I, for everyone who's watching this, we did get a chance to speak earlier, and we were talking about one of the studies that was done to compare the Echinoforce to some other products on the marketplace. So if you want to share a little bit about that while we're pouring out the sparkling water.
Yeah, well, and I think this is what really biases me towards this product with all of the Echinoforce products, is because there's a really large, high quality clinical trial that was done on hot drink. And it was shown to be as effective as a pharmaceutical against influenza. And I think for me, that just really sets it aside as this product that's sitting on the shelf. It went in a head-to-head trial with something called Tamiflu. If any of you have ever taken a course of Tamiflu, you should be familiar with this. It's great and it does work, but it has a lot of side effects. So if you can actually have this product, you go to your health food store, you can pick it up off the shelf, and it's going to work as well as a pharmaceutical with fewer side effects. I mean, who doesn't want that? And the nice thing is it's really cost effective, so it's accessible to a lot of people. And that clinical trial was almost 500 people. So we see these plant-based studies and they're kind of 15 people, 20 people. It's good, but it could be better. And then you have a huge trial that's 500 people. And I just, I've talked about that study a lot. And every time I say it, to know that we have a pharmaceutical that's comparable, a plant-based product that's comparable to a pharmaceutical, it just really speaks to the power of natural living and natural health. Absolutely. So to me, it's mind-blowing every time I say it.
Yes, honestly. And when you told me that, I was like, Wow. And then to know that tonight we're enjoying a cocktail while also getting these immune boosting benefits is incredible. Like, it's truly a cocktail that is guilt free. And in fact, you can be proud to drink it.
Yeah. You want to drink every night? Go ahead.
Go
You can
ahead,
do it
have
with
three,
this.
four.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to actually mix the cocktail. So a lot of our flavor is sitting at the bottom of the glass right now. And because we topped it with the sparkling water or your club soda, I'm just going to give it a quick stir so we can make sure we get those flavors evenly throughout the cocktail. And then the color is just going to look beautiful. I wish you could see it, but I can't mix while I'm holding it.
I have to say, it's probably one of my favorite lives because I can sit here and have a drink while I'm on it.
Exactly. Sometimes I'm drinking sober cocktails at lunch and I feel weird doing it, but I'm like, no, this is totally okay.
10 a.m. is never too early anymore.
Exactly. All right, so this is what our mixed cocktail looks like. Beautiful color from the pomegranate and the Echinoforce hot drink. And to top it off, guys, all we really need to do is add some rosemary. And adding this one strand of rosemary is really going to garnish our cocktail and just make it look sophisticated and delicious too.
No kidding.
I'm just going to clean up my rosemary here because it's got a lot of extra strands. So I'm just going to take a few off.
Yeah, Deandra, right from the mixologist, do you just let the rosemary sit while you drink it?
I do, but if you're going to let your cocktail sort of nurse it, then you can take it out because it will get stronger as your drink kind of goes forward. But if you're the person who doesn't want the ice to melt by the time that you finish your drink, then it's totally fine to leave it in the cocktail.
Quick. Make another.
Exactly. All right. So look at that. It's tall enough to have a little bit on the outside.
That's beautiful.
And you know what you could also do? I used up all my pomegranate seeds, but you could also throw a couple on top just to add it as a little bit of garnish. And there you go. It would look even better.
Okay, well, we got a cheers virtually.
I think so. Cheers, everyone.
Oh, that's good.
It is so good. And like, I cannot get over the fact that this is non-alcoholic. We don't have to worry about the negative effects of alcohol. And I'm actually boosting my immunity right now.
I find what's so interesting, and especially if anyone joins our February webinar, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Generation Dry and the Sober Curious. And I've heard Bob, who's actually the founder of Sobry, talk about Sober Curious. And that's a big thing. You know, you have younger people, especially what they're showing is kind of the demographic from about 16 to 24. They're really starting to explore their relationship with alcohol. Why do you drink? What are you hoping for? And because the younger generations are becoming more and more health conscious, that's part of it. They want to explore that relationship and go, is this benefiting my health? You know, instead of having a drink every night, maybe it's only Friday.
Exactly.
Or maybe I take a 2-week break and then that's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I love that they're really questioning these things and at such an early age, where before it was so ingrained in us socially that you go out, you party, you have a drink, and this is what you do when you're young. And the fact that they're questioning it and thinking, okay, is this really good for me? And what do I have to gain by drinking? You know? And especially because there's so much online, and the fact that everything we do is often filmed and televised, whether that's on our social media or elsewhere, that we need to be extra careful about the things that we're doing, especially, you know, when we get intoxicated. Like, you don't have that control over yourself and some of the things that you do. So the fact that they're so conscious about that is really, really awesome, and
gives me hope.
Yes. Exactly. Me too. And then even those who just start to question, you know, their relationship with alcohol later on, and who are curious about what are the options for non-alcoholic out there. And even that, what we call flexitarian approach, where
Yeah, yeah.
you still partake in alcohol sometimes, but you also have those non-alcoholic options as well.
Well, and I like the way that you brought it up at the beginning. It's very inclusive. And as we know, the younger generations are way more inclusive. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look at pronouns. You ask someone in a younger generation, they don't even think about it. My pronouns are
Exactly.
them. My pronouns are she, her. It's not a big deal. They don't go to war over it. I
Yeah,
mean, really. And
exactly. They just fundamentally understand it differently, whereas we kind of had to have a little bit of a shift in perspective to be able to accommodate that. So I
exactly.
right? I really, really love the inclusive nature of having more and more non-alcoholic drinks. And for those, whether it is culturally or religious reasons that you're choosing not to drink, it's handing someone a sugary soda or a water when everyone else is having a cocktail is not really the best option. And it kind of seems, I don't want to use the word childish, but in a way, give them a more sophisticated option to be able to participate and feel like they're part of that social circle.
And that's the big thing is just it's the social pressure. When you go to someone's house, even if you're the DD, you still feel that social pressure. Oh, just have one drink. Well,
Yeah,
now you can sit there, you can participate in the cocktail. You just have a non-alcoholic option. And I do love that inclusivity of it. And you're inviting people in. And I think Canada, we benefit from living in such a beautifully diverse country. And like you said earlier, what if you have a Muslim friend and they come over and religion says they can't drink, but they're sitting there and you can still include them. And so I
exactly.
love the fact that no one is left out.
Absolutely. And just having those options on your bar, like whether you have, your favorite alcoholic gin, but then you also include Sobri for those times, whether it's you or for a guest that is looking for those non-alcoholic options.
Exactly. And I mean, kind of like we talked to at the beginning, you do have so many different side effects. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sleep and mental health are probably the two that really come to mind. And we know alcohol is a depressant, like we said earlier, but then also we look at the impacts on sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
people really get into this vicious cycle of alcohol does help you fall asleep quicker for most of us because it's a sedative, because it's a depressant, but then it's the sleep quality that really
Right.
suffers. And so you get this vicious cycle of you don't get a deep sleep. So then you wake up feeling groggy and tired. So you remedy that. I use remedy very loosely with caffeine and different stimulants to perk up. But then
Mm-hmm.
when you get close to bed, you're too wired. But you know what does help? A drink.
Drink,
Not
right.
really. So now we're kind of breaking that cycle. And if you can have this mocktail before bed, while you're waking up, you still get to enjoy your social time with yourself, even. And then you wake up without the hangover. You don't need the stimulants
Exactly.
as much.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And also the physical health as well, right? Like just building that cocktail or that alcoholic cocktail into your routine just to help you fall asleep, that does have long-term physical consequences. And people don't realize that there are actually a lot of calories in alcohol. I think it's one shot, so 1 ounce is approximately 190 to 100 calories for an alcoholic spirit.
Yeah,
So,
people don't realize that. And I mean, even in terms of how much is a drink. So in an average bottle of wine, it's 750 mils, and that's considered 10 units of alcohol. So even in my own practice with patients, we chat about relationships with alcohol and we'll do an analysis and see how many units they're drinking. And when you tell people there's 10 servings of wine in a bottle of wine, I don't know really anyone that makes it to 10 servings. It's usually
ex-
four, maybe five.
exactly. Exactly. Because the bigger the glass, it's like, I'm just having one glass, but the glass is this big.
Yeah, yeah. Guilty of that for sure.
Yep. Me too. Me too. I'll admit it.
Yeah, so I love it. I love the fact that people are exploring their relationship with health. I love that we have options like a Force to actually help them stay healthy. You can have a mocktail like this. You don't get the hangover. I mean, that's why this was such a natural fit with one another because
I
you
think
have
so.
the pairing of the two.
Exactly. And just building in those options into your life, like really just kind of replacing, if, for example, you have a cocktail every night and you replace 3 days of that with a non alcoholic cocktail that still tastes delicious, I mean, that can have a huge impact on your health.
Oh yeah, and funny enough, in preparation for this, I was just reading a new study that came out, and even one light drink, so kind of an ounce, ounce and a half, can disrupt your sleep depth by about 9%. Moderate drinking was 24%, and heavy drinking is 40%. So your sleep quality is really suffering, and not to mention, if you're drinking alcohol, it can increase your risk of sleep apnea. And there's a lot of people with apnea out there because it relaxes the muscles of the throat, which makes it more likely to potentially close during sleep.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's also dangers there because we know sleep apnea is associated with cardiovascular disease and long-term risks to your health, stroke risk, heart attack risk, all of that. So
wow.
that's why, you can get it right from sites like avogel.ca. You can get it at most of your local health food stores where you can pick up Echinoforce. And then where would you get Sobri? Like, what are the most common places to get it?
Yeah, so we're in a couple of different stores around the GTA. And you can also find us at well.ca online, in your Pusatiri's, which is a chain in Toronto, a grocery chain in Toronto. There's also a bunch of smaller shops as well, specialty cocktail shops like Cocktail Emporium, but we also sell it online as well.
Which I think, I mean, we're on well.ca as well. So there, all of you go into your well.ca cart and you can just add the hot drink, you can add the Sobri Zero Gin,
Yes,
and there you go. It's cocktail hour.
exactly. And I think they've got free shipping over $45 or something like that. So if you got both, you would qualify. So
Exactly. And stock up. Good to have
exactly.
extra.
And then you can make one of these at home. It's delicious.
And there's also, if I'm not mistaken, a tequila that's very agave forward.
Yes, yes. We just launched our tequila. So that was last year, I believe, in October. And you're absolutely right. So we really, when it comes to our Sobri Zero Spirits, we really want to focus on the flavors that you would expect from these different spirits in the cocktail.
Mm.
So when tequila interacts in a cocktail, we really, really get that agave flavor. Now, it's hard to catch that when you have the burn of the alcohol. So keep in mind that Sobri Zero spirits are very flavor forward,
Mm.
but that's why they're meant to be mixed into a cocktail. You're not meant to take them as shots because it could be overwhelming to your palate. But when you mix it in that cocktail, you do get that flavor of agave. And from the gin, you get the juniper.
Mm.
And it's so delicious as it interacts in your cocktail.
Well, I even find with age, as we do age and you have alcohol, we know it affects balance. Anyone who's had a really fun Friday night out or Saturday night out, it affects your balance. And so I do think about this option for even my older patients where,
Mm-hmm.
they visit their grandkids and they want to have a drink and participate, but they're also worried about maybe taking a tumble and impacting their
Right.
their stability and their balance. So yeah, I think having these options in everyone's bar should just be a given.
Absolutely. And we also make it easy because I know sometimes it can be intimidating to kind of create that cocktail at home, but we also have cocktail kits online. So you can purchase a bottle of Sobri and then it comes with the mixer. So all you have to do is add your Sobri, add your mixer into a glass, and you've got a cocktail.
When I think I was really impressed by the weight of the jigger. It has a really significant weight, which I
Yes,
prefer, and it doesn't feel like delicate or that it's going to break.
exactly. Yeah, we absolutely love this style too, like the bell jigger style. It's very easy to balance. And then as you're pouring it, it has that nice weight to it. So you don't feel like you're going to drop it or anything like that.
Yeah, that's for another type of night where you are having a regular cocktail.
Exactly, exactly. Now, I wonder if there are any questions from anyone in the chat. I haven't been taking a look, but I can.
I know there was a couple people asking where to get it, and I do think we did a good job of answering that. So like we said, you can get it right from Sobri's website, you can get it right from A Vogel, or both are on well.ca. So if you do run an order, and I do believe that there's a discount code, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Absolutely right. Yes. We both of us are actually launching discount codes for a Vogel and Sobri. So we're gonna leave that so you don't have to write it down. We're gonna leave that in the comments under this video. So be sure to go check that out and then go to both of our websites to get 15% off for the rest of the month of February.
It's a good way to celebrate Valentine's Day. You know, if you order tonight, it'll come in time to celebrate with the mocktail. So your loved ones deserve it. You and your loved ones deserve it.
Exactly, right? Your loved ones deserve a cocktail that is hangover free, guilt free, and then you can also
Zero sugar.
Zero sugar. Exactly, exactly. That's one thing we pride ourselves. We pride ourselves on the power of zero. So Sobri has zero sugar, 0 calories, and 0 hangover.
And all of the fun.
And all of the fun. None of the hangover, but all of the fun. So Owen, I wanted to thank you so much for joining me for happy hour tonight. For those of you who are watching the replay, I hope that you do take the time to make this cocktail because it is so delicious. And especially during the winter months when our immunity could use a boost, this is a great way to just enjoy your time and get that boost at the same time.
Hey, cheers to that, Deandra.
Cheers, Owen.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.